Alright, so we're live here. Hello, Twitch. Welcome to the stream. So, today we're playing another game of Wingspan. So, this is going to be the Asia expansion and the Oceania expansion. So, we have a lot of bird cards here. Still getting kind of set up. I'm just going to place these Duet tokens out. And yeah, we got a big stack of bird cards here. Gonna draw 5 cards to start the game. 2 bonus cards. So, actually, let me put 3 out in the tray. So in the tray we have the graceful Prinia. So this is a Asia bird. And this is a brown power, so when activated, discard an egg. If you do, gain a worm from the supply. Alright, then we have the crested pigeon. This is an Oceania bird with a game end ability, so at the end of the game, you would cash up to 8 wheat from your supply on this bird. And then we got the red wattle bird. So this is another Oceania bird. So this has a when played ability, so when you play it, you'll gain a nectar from the supply for each bird with a wingspan less than 49 centimeters in your forest. And yeah, I can kind of go over a little bit what some of that means. So there's 3 habitats here. So we have the forest, the grasslands, this is the forest, this is the grasslands, this is the wetlands. So it's gonna, as you take these actions, you're gonna do exactly what it says. So you're gonna gain food, and you'll get 1 food from the bird feeder here. So you need to roll this to get the options. Okay, so we have 3 rats, a wheat, and then a nectar or a wheat. And then this is the lay eggs action. So starting out, if you take this action, you only get 1 egg unless you discard a card or a food to get a second egg. And then same with the draw a bird card. So taking this action, you're going to get 1 bird card, or you can discard an egg or a nectar for a second bird card. And we start the game with 1 nectar. And then we're playing on the hardest difficulty. Now this is the solo version of the game. So we're going to be playing against like a computer opponent called the Automa. And we're going to play on the hardest difficulty. So I think my last game I ended up getting like 116 to 85. So we're going to play on the hardest difficulty. So we'll put 5 spent nectar for the automated opponent here in the spent nectar section. And each time we spend a nectar to play a bird or to get a second card, it's going to go in this spent nectar section here. And then at the end of the game, whoever has more spent nectar in each habitat will get the 5 points, and the second place will get 2 points. So we'll put 5 spent nectar on this card here. And then you can look at these end of round goals. This is the Duet board, so this comes with the Asia expansion. So if you play bird in the forest, then you have to put your Duet token in the forest here, and it has to align with what bird you played. So if you paid a worm, you could go on this bonus space here and get an extra food. In the wetlands here, they have these bonus spaces that give you an extra card, and then in the grasslands you could go on some of these bonus spaces that give you an extra egg. And I think that's it. We're pretty much set up. Gonna shuffle up the Automa deck. So this is how we're gonna take turns for the AI opponent, since we're playing solo here. Alright, we need 5 bird cards for the opening hand. So draw 5. Okay, now we have the little egret. This is probably hard to see. Sulfur-crested cockatoo, olive-backed sunbird, American robin, and western tanager. So, for anyone that doesn't really know, these birds, the anatomy of the card is kind of like, this is the habitat that you can play it in. And so this would be a wetland-only bird. So this bird right here, you can only play in the wetlands. And then this bird right here is a forest-only bird, and this one is grasslands or forest. And then some birds you can play in any habitat. So to start the game, I think I want to keep at least one of these, our only wetland option. There's also the graceful Prinia in the tray. The when activated ability for this is draw 1 card from the deck and add it to your hand. All other players draw a card from the deck and keep it if it can live in the wetlands. So against the Automa, I would assume that they just get the card. And when we're playing with the Horde, Automa's Horde over here, it says that when the Automa gets a card, they get 2 cash tokens, which will convert to like 3/4 of a point, pretty much. So, and an egg is 3 tokens. A bonus card is 6. So yeah, we'll keep this little egret. We need to check our bonus cards too. We're gonna get 2 bonus cards to start the game, and we'll choose 1 to keep. So we got Avian Theriogenologist. That's a mouthful. And Mechanical Engineer. So Avian Theriogenologist is birds with completely full nests. So if we have, again, on the bird cards here, they have eggs. Yo, music is relaxing. How's it going, Fahad? Yeah, this is the actual playlist for Wingspan. So like, if you download the digital game, this is the music that plays. So yeah, I thought it was pretty fitting. So yeah, these birds have capacities on eggs, like how many you can lay on them. So there's 3, 2, yeah, this is, so I'm just getting set up now. This is like the full setup. I had this set up already before I started, but right now I'm just trying to pick my opening hand. So you get 5 cards, 5 bird cards, and then 2 bonus cards, and you choose one of these to keep. And then you can keep either all 5 of these birds or none. So like however many birds, it's kind of hard to explain, but like however many birds you keep or however many birds you discard, is how much food you get. And the options for the food are right here. So I have this little tray off camera. So like this is a wild food, so this will count as any of these food. And then these are the eggs. So you can do 3, 4 things in this game. The actions are right here. You can only take 4 actions. So it might seem like a lot, but it's really not once you get it down. So you can play a bird by paying its food cost right here up in the corner left of the card. And then you can lay eggs on birds. So that's where I was kind of explaining the capacity of each bird. They have capacity. So if we look at this, I'll just hold this up a little closer so you can see it. So this is the little egret. It's from the Asia expansion, and it's got this platform nest. So this is the nest type, and then it can hold 3 eggs. That's what those little 3 eggs. And then the cost of this bird is either a worm, fish, or a rat. So that's what the slash means. Now some birds, for another example like this, have a plus symbol, and that means you have to pay both the cherry here and the wheat. And yeah, so I got these bonus cards here, and one of these is birds with completely full nests. So this says 5 to 6 birds. If we have their nests completely full with eggs at the end of the game, we will get 4 points. And then if we have 7 or more birds, we'll get 7 points. Plus is both and slash is either. Yep, exactly. So I'm sort of thinking we go with the other bonus card here. So this is mechanical engineer. So if you have 1 set of each nest type, you'll get 3 points. And if you have 2 sets of each nest type, you'll get 8 points. So for the start of the game, we're going to pick some birds here. Now, I want to keep one wetland bird, so I think I'm definitely keeping this little egret. And then I kind of like this olive-backed sunbird and the American robin. So if we're keeping 3 bird cards, that means we're discarding 2 cards at the beginning of the game, so we will get 2 food. And the 2 food, the options are here, so we can keep, it's just everything but this. So we can keep a wheat, a cherry, a fish, a rat, or a worm. Now if we look at some of the costs here on the cards, then zoom in a little bit here. So I want to get both of these birds down, either one of these 3. And then these are the habitats they can go in. So this can go in the wetlands only, so down here where you draw bird cards. And then this can go in either of these 2 habitats, so the forest or the grasslands. And then this little symbol here means that it eats any food, so you can pay for any food. So you can open with any number, and whatever you discard, you get food as returned. Yes, that's 100% right. So right now, if I was looking at these 3 birds I have, so this robin costs a worm or a cherry. So I'm going to keep a cherry as my food. This is my food supply over here. And then for the little egret, we have a bunch of options we can pay for. So I could take a worm, fish, or a rat. I just can't take a second cherry. That's basically it for your opening hand. So I'll take a fish. And one thing I am curious, since you helped me yesterday, Fahad, fix the delay on the stream, if there was a way to tell if it's still bad. I mean, is the stream watchable? Because yesterday, I know it was horrible. That would be great to know. So we've kept our food. We have, I think I said I was going to go with mechanical engineer for a bonus card. No delay, and the quality is so crisp. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate that. So pretty much have Fahad here to thank for that. So appreciate that. Yeah, I think there was like a 10-minute delay, and then I also heard that like some people were saying that there's just no video playback, so like they were getting error messages. So yeah. So again, I appreciate it. So I'm gonna start this game off here, and yeah, if there's any questions, I can definitely answer them as we're going. I mean, the best way for me to learn is just to watch kind of someone play, so that's kind of how I learned. So I'm gonna start out here with my first action. These are the action cubes. So at the start of the game, you get 8 turns, and then that will be the end of round 1. And this is the goal board. So round 1, we're gonna score the most birds played in the forest. So then round 2, we will place an action cube here and lose a action cube. So we'll lose 1 turn each round. So what is the final goal of the game? What is the winning hand? So this is I guess this could be described as more of like a point salad. So like for board games, because you're gonna play birds, you're gonna lay eggs, you're gonna get points from really anything. I mean, I can show the this is how you score it here. So in these columns, you're gonna get points from the birds that you play. So as an example right here, this American robin right there next to the feather, it's worth 1 point. And then you have bonus cards. I know this is hard to see. The camera is struggling to focus, but bonus cards are the only other card type in the game. So we have a bonus card here that says if we have one set of all the 4 nest types, we get 3 victory points. So anything with that feather next to it is a victory point. And then you're also going to get points from, hopefully this focuses a little better, end of round goals. And what those are these right here. So in round 1, you'll score 2 points if you have the most birds in the forest. That's what that little forest symbol is. And then in round 2, you will score 3 points if you have the most birds in the grasslands, which is this yellow territory here. And so on, all the way to round 4. Round 4 is the end of the game. And then you'll get 1 point for each egg. So I'm just kind of working down the scoring sheet here so you can see. And this is the way you play solo. So the back side of this is if you were playing with another person. Oh, I'm starting to get the picture. Okay, yeah, I know it can be a lot. Like I get it. It seems crazy, but playing one game, people pick it up fast. So then food on cards will get us points, but not the automatic opponent or automated opponent. We're playing solo, so we're playing against like an AI generated score or whatever. So then we will score 1 point for each tucked cards and then duet tokens in the largest group. So I'm ready to go here. We're going to take the first turn of the game. And again, I know this is probably super confusing to anyone who has never played this, but I will do a couple turns and then I think it'll start to make sense. So for my first turn, I'm just going to take this action cube here and play a bird. So you can see the 5 columns here, and playing a bird costs whatever it says at the top of each column. So we're playing in the first column. It costs nothing, like no eggs. This column would cost 1 egg. So as you play a second bird in that column or row, it gets more expensive. And then all the way out to here, it says it costs 2 eggs. So the first cost of the first bird we play is not going to cost an egg. It's just going to cost that food that's on the bird card. And again, these birds have specific habitats. So this bird has to go in the wetlands. So we're going to play this bird right here. So we just put it right there on that first square in the wetlands. And then we pay a fish. So again, this little egret here costs either a worm, fish, or a rat. So we're paying just 1 fish. And then we get to place this duet token. Again, this can be really confusing because this game that I'm playing right now has a base game and I'm mixing it with 4 expansions. So I can see how that could be a lot for someone to try to understand. So the last thing to play a bird, you pay its food, right? Yep. And now if I wanted to play a second bird here on my next turn, it would cost 1 egg. And we don't have eggs, so we need to lay eggs before we can play a second bird in this column. You're building like an engine, sort of. So we're gonna place this duet token. This is for the Asia expansion, and we're gonna put this has to go, and it has to correspond with something on the bird card. So since we played the little egret in the wetlands, this token has to go on this blue. So this is the wetland section. And we paid a fish for that, so we can place this duet token on this fish. And then it says we get to draw a bird card. When you draw a bird card, you can take from the tray, so the 3 cards that are visible, or you can take from the deck. And yeah, looking at some of the birds in the tray, I don't really have any interest in those. So I'm just going to draw a card from the deck. And we get Wilson Snipe, so that's actually a really good bird. It's a 5-point bird for 1 food, and it's another wetland bird with a when activated ability of all players draw 1 card from the deck. Okay, so we played a bird there, and we picked up another bird card. So we've taken this first action of the game, and now we'll do the first action for the drawing cards. Does drawing cards cost anything? So, no. So, the 4 actions that you can do is play a bird, you can gain food on your turn, you can lay eggs on your turn, and you can draw bird cards on your turn. So if I was to draw bird cards, like on my next turn, I would just put my token, since we played a bird here, we would put that token here, and now we get to draw 2 cards instead of the 1. So you're just strengthening your actions as you play more birds. And you're building a nice engine, because on these cards they have these abilities where I would draw 2 bird cards, then I would activate the bird that I just played. So I would draw 1 card from the deck and add it to your hand. So you can see we're getting 2 cards, then 3 because of the bird that we played. So that's really just an example. And as it goes on, it just gets, your engine gets stronger and stronger, and you're trying to get as many points as you can. So moving on to the first turn for the Automa. So this is extremely confusing if you don't know how to play Wingspan at all. So I'll go over it as best I can. This is the section for the Automa. This is the automated opponent that we're playing against. So there's a round tracker card here that says we're in round 1, and then this is where you place things on the board right here for the opponent. So what we do is, I've shuffled this deck up. I'll shuffle it one more time, and I'm gonna flip a card for the Automa, and then I'll explain how they play. So this is for if you want to play solo. Okay, so round 1, this is showing that they're going to discard. That little symbol there means discard all 3 bird cards from the bird tray, and the Automa draws 1 card and keeps it face down. So we'll do that. This is the tray, so they're going to discard all 3 cards from the tray. Keep 1 face down. Now this face down card is going to be worth 5 points since we're playing on the hardest difficulty. And then when they discard cards from the tray like that, they also place a Duet token to kind of compete with us. 5 points, yeah. So 5 points, yeah. So the 5 points is, this is kind of how you score against the Automa. You choose a difficulty, and then each face down card will be worth 3, 4, or 5 points. I know this is really hard to see, but I'll show you a blank one here. So this is for scoring against the automated opponent, the computer, if you will. So playing each, they're showing that same symbol that they flipped, and then it's going to be worth 3, 4, or 5 points. And then this, I'll show that when it comes up. But we have this symbol happen, so what they're going to also do when that comes up is place one of these tokens to compete with us on this board. So the way we determine that, this is just something that I had to learn how to do this. So we have this crossed out symbol, so we're going to look over here and see that the crossed out symbol means a beak pointing left or right in the grasslands. And we have this flipped on, so it would help if we match this to the round that we're in, obviously. So I had that flipped the wrong way. So now this is right. So we have round one. And if they're going to discard, they're going to do this. Then we're going to go down here and look at these symbols on the right. So this little crossed out cube means that we're going to start on the bottom right corner of that little board there. And we're looking for a food type in the wetlands. So I'll show kind of what that means here. So we're going to start in this bottom right corner. This is all just to place a token for the opponent. So we're going to start down here and work this way, then go up and work across until we find a food type in the wetlands. So the first food type we come across in the wetlands is right here. This is a worm. So that is where we're going to place that duet token. And that is the first turn for the opponent. So we've gone through one turn for me and then one turn for the opponent. Then we get to refill this tray since they discarded all 3 cards. So we have some new birds coming out to look at. We have the mourning dove, 2 0-point birds, and then we have the budgerigar and the willy wagtail. So the willy wagtail is interesting. That bird can go in the forest, and I believe, yeah, so when activated, it draws a card face up from the tray with a bowl or a wild nest, and you may reset or refill the tray before doing so. So I do like that ability. Drawing cards in the forest is always pretty rare. So let's see. For my second action, I think I'm just going to keep it simple for now and play another bird. So we'll put this second action cube up here to play a second bird. And since it's in this first column, just a different habitat, we're just going to pay that food cost of 1 cherry. Is the willy wagtail's ability to unlock cards. So the willy wagtail's ability allows you to draw cards. So the reason that I was saying it's good is if you look here on the board, typically the only way to draw cards is down here in this wetlands section. So if you're combining some of these actions, like the gain food action, the lay eggs action, into one action, it just saves you actions later down the road. And yeah, it makes your engine stronger and builds your it just gets you more points. So that's why I was saying about the willy wagtail. So that is, there's also other bird cards like the wood duck. The wood duck is another bird that allows you to draw cards in the forest. So another example would be like, there's the killdeer, which you can play in the grasslands, and then as you're laying eggs, it allows you to draw cards also. So that's really good to anytime you can combine some of these actions. So hopefully, so it's an OP bird that gets you more cards. Yes, exactly. So yeah, and there's a couple of bird cards in the game that are like really OP. Killdeer, there's the Chihuahua Raven. Actually, if you play in the digital version, like on the Wingspan tournament Discord, I don't even think you're allowed to play them in the first round because they're that strong. So, for my second action here, I'm going to go ahead and play the American Robin. So it's going to cost a worm or a cherry, so we're just going to pay that 1 cherry. And then we'll put this down in the forest. And then we'll place this duet token. So this has to go on this board over here. And it has to go in the forest. Since we played in this forest, we played a bird in the forest. And then it's also got to correspond with the food that we paid or the nest type that the bird has. So I'll bring the bird card over and kind of show here. So we paid a cherry. So right away we could put this on the cherry spot. So that is one of the available spots we can go. And I'm sort of thinking, since we score points for the largest contiguous group, I want to keep these tokens as close together as I can. because these little dotted lines here mean that they are connected, and if we can connect all our black tokens, we'll get 1 point for each connected token. So the other options are this bowl nest. Since the bird has that bowl nest, we could place our token there. I believe this cherry is closer though, so I will go. Actually, I like this bowl nest better, and the reason is I'm looking at this round 3 goal. It's going to be duet tokens on nest types, so we're going to try to win that category. So we'll just place our duet token there, and then put this bird back down on the board where we played it. So now we have 1 bird played in the forest, 1 bird played in the wetlands, and that's going to strengthen the action when we take that. Would you choose the nest or the food for your token? So I went with the nest, and the reason is, again, on this, looking at the end of round goals. So we have at the end of the first round, we're going to score duet tokens in the forest. Now we just placed 1 in the forest, so we know that the automated opponent here has none yet, so we are winning that category as of now. And then in the second round, we're going to score duet tokens in the grasslands. So we don't have any yet, but then in the third round, we're going to score duet tokens on nest types. So that is why I chose the bowl nest over the cherry position. Okay, so we've got that bird down. That was our second action of the game. And then we're going to flip another card here for the Automa to see kind of what they're doing. And this is like my favorite Automa action because it's so fast. What this basically means is that they're just going to lay 1 egg. So we're going to put 1 egg down over here just to show that they have 1 egg. And because the round 3 rewards you if you choose the nest type. Yep. That's exactly why we did that. So then we've taken our second action, and the Automa has laid an egg for their second action. So it's my turn again. We're going to do our third action here. Now we have 1 food left, which is a wild food that can be any. So what I'm going to do is just try to get 1 bird in each habitat. So I'm going to play another bird here. And we're going to play it in this first column in the final habitat that we don't have any birds in. So there's just the 3 habitats. So we're going to play the olive-backed sunbird here in the grasslands. Okay? And that's going to cost 1 of any food. So this little omnivore sign, it's probably hard to see, but this means that you can pay any food for it, and the food that we have is a wild food. So this pink food is the nectar. So we're going to spend our nectar to pay for that bird. Now, all spent nectar that you spend throughout the game goes in the spent nectar section on your board, corresponding to like where you use that nectar. So we spent a nectar in the grasslands to pay for the olive-backed sunbird, so we put 1 spent nectar there. Now, for the competition, as far as that goes against the automated opponent, their spent nectar starts at 5, so we are losing in all 3 habitats there. But as the game goes on, we might be able to change that. So now we're going to place this duet token here in the grasslands, and we spent a nectar. So let's place this here, and I'll bring the bird over so we can kind of see. So this is the placement. Now we played the bird. It can go in the forest or the grasslands. We played it in the grasslands, so this token has to correspond to where we played it. So we have to play in the orange here. And we used a nectar, which is a wild food. So I believe we can go on any food type, but I think I want to take this opportunity to, since the bird has a wild nest type, I'm going to place it on this enclosure nest here so that we will get 1 egg as a reward. So So we get to lay 1 egg for free. Yes, for the bonus reward. Yep, that's 100% right. So on the goal board, there is some of those bonus spots, and I like those bonus spots because they give you free stuff. So we're going to get an egg here to lay on a bird. Now, this is what the eggs look like for the game. They come in different colors and whatnot, but the colors don't mean anything. I've had a lot of people ask that, actually. So when you lay an egg, you just put it on any bird. And that's kind of what I was saying, is like the birds have capacities here. So we can only put 4 eggs on the American robin in the forest. What do eggs do? So the eggs, you lay them on birds, and they're needed to play more birds. So right now we have played 3 birds in this first column. So this first column here, this little line means that it costs no eggs. But to play birds out here in these other columns, there's a little fly there. We need to have eggs, and then what we'll do is, if we play a bird in any of these 3 now, it's going to cost 1 egg, so we would have to take an egg from our board. So hopefully that helps with the eggs. The eggs, you'll kind of see they come and go. And yeah, so we played a bird, we got that bonus egg, that was our 3rd action. So we're going to flip a card here for the Automa now, and this is going to be their 3rd action. So we're going to see what they do. And again, they're just laying an egg, so that is the fastest turn that the opponent can make. And I love when the opponent just lays eggs there, the Automa or the fake opponent. So yeah, it's like a computerized opponent built into a card game for when you don't have friends to play like me. So yeah, for my 4th action, we have no food left, and we could maybe by the end of the round get this Wilson snipe down. So this is only 1 food. So what I'm thinking here is, in first 3 actions, we played birds. So for my next action, I'm going to take food. So this is the gain food action here all the way across this row. And as you can see, the more birds you play, the stronger that action gets. The system, yeah, it's really cool design. It's Stonemaier Games, so they have a lot of games, and yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. It's an engine building system, like you'll see, like as we play more birds, the engine just gets stronger and stronger, and you're just tying things together. You're gonna get more and more stuff the more birds you play. So right now, this gain food action right here on the board, this shows that we get 2 food from the bird feeder. Now the bird feeder is this little birdhouse where you roll the dice. So since we get 2 food right here, we get to choose from these options. And looking at the bird card that we have the Wilson Snipe. Now that costs a worm, but there's no worm in the bird feeder. But luckily, there is a wild. So we're going to take that wild, and then we will take this wheat. So those are the 2 food that we get. So we're going to get a wild food and a wheat. Okay, and then we have the American Robin's ability. Okay, now this is where hindsight is 2020. I have 1 card in my hand, so I probably should have drew bird cards first so that I would have a card to use for this ability. So the Robin says tuck 1 card from your hand behind this bird, and if you do, draw 1 card. Now tucked cards are only worth 1 point. Why 2 foods? So on the board here, here, I'll back up just a second. So when you take this action, you put the cube, you always go 1 to the right of wherever your bird is played, and that's the action that you're taking. So you can kind of see here on the board, if I didn't play a bird I would just get 1 food. And then since I played a bird first, now I get 2 food. And then I activate my bird. That's here. So you can see that the dice action here gets stronger. The actions get stronger as you go. Same for the eggs. So if I were to play 3 birds, or this many birds out here, you're laying 3 eggs and then potentially a 4th egg if you discard a card or a food for a 4th. So that's the reason for the 2 foods. And then what's nice about having these birds down is your actions get stronger like that, and you get to activate the abilities on the birds. But we don't want to tuck this card. I want to play this bird. So I'm not going to use that ability, so you don't have to use the abilities. Hindsight is 2020. I probably should have drawn bird cards before I took food, but it's too late now. So we're going to skip the American Robin's ability. So then that was our 4th action. We gained 2 food, and that's it. So then going over for the Automa's next turn, we're going to flip another bird card. And on here, it shows they're taking food. So this is the food that will come out of the bird feeder in that order. So I'll bring this card over to the bird feeder to explain this a little better. The way the feeder works is if these faces are all the same, you can re-roll that feeder. Or if there's 1 food left, you can re-roll the feeder. So since there's 3 food that are all the same, we just re-roll all 5. And then the Automa takes this option here first. So this worm/wheat. So we're going to look for the dice. Any dice that have worm/wheat. So that's this 1 dice comes out. And that is their whole turn. Now we can ignore the activate pink powers because we do not have pink powers on the board here. So that was a nice and easy 4th action for the opponent there. And we can now play a bird. So we're going to play this 4th bird. So this is where the eggs come in, what you were asking about. So this column, to play a bird in this column, it costs 1 egg. Now we only have 1 egg, so what we do is we pay the egg cost. So we take that egg off of our bird, and then we also have to pay that food cost still. So we're going to use this wild food, and since we played the bird in the wetlands, it's going to go in this spent nectar location here, right? And then we place this Duet token on that board there. So this Duet token has to go in the wetlands, and it's got to correspond with our snipe. So I think I'm going to stick with that nest type, and now we have 2 Duet tokens connected. So the Wilson snipe has a enclosure nest. So that is my reason for putting this here. And then at the end of the game, remember, all these tokens that are connected are going to score you 1 point. So now we have 2 points at least there. Yeah, this game is like point salad. You're going to get points for everything. You're going to get points for the bird, what the birds are worth. You're going to get points for every egg. You're going to get points for the tucked cards. It's kind of like you just play it and see how you did, really. It's the best way to go. And it is obviously more fun with more people, but this is the only way to play solo. So yeah, that was our whole turn. We played a bird there. Yeah, I like the game too. I mean, this is hands down one of my favorite Euro games. By Stonemaier Games. They have a couple other ones that have come out recently, like actually they're behind me. I don't know if they're visible. Yeah. So there's Wingspan. Looks like a flying fish there. And then there's also Wormspan, which is like dragons, kind of like this, but dragons. So yeah, but Wingspan is the OG. So Alright, so that was our 5th action. We played a bird there. So we're going to do the Automa's 5th action here. Just flip a card. And very nice. Okay, so they are laying 1 egg. Wingspan is so nice to watch. Yeah. Yeah, this game is super relaxing. The music, all that, it's a chill vibe, right? So we're also doing really well with mechanical engineer. So this is our bonus card, and we have to get 1 of each nest type. And we have this olive-backed sunbird on the board, which is a wild nest. So we can use that as any of the 4 nest types. So right now we have bowl nest, platform nest, enclosure nest, and this wild can be that other nest that we're missing. So we're already getting 3 points there. So far so good. We have 3 actions left in the first round, and bonus card, what will activate it? So at the end of the game, you will score your bonus card. You just have the bonus card throughout the game and try to do the best you can. You do the best you can with the bonus card that you get, pretty much. So this bonus card, it says sets of the 4 nest types in the game. So we have 4 nest types. We have this, I call this like a bowl nest. Let me zoom in here a little bit, actually. So we have, this is my bonus card. So it's called, I don't know why the camera's not focusing. There we go. So mechanical engineer. So 1 set of the 4 nest types will get you 3 points, and then 2 sets will get you 8 points. So really throughout this game, I'm going to be trying to get 2 sets of each of the nest types. Now, as long as I have these 4 nest types, which right now I have 4 birds played, I have 1 with this nest, skip this second nest, I have 1 with this nest, and I have 1 with this nest, and then I have a wild nest which will count for this one, so I already have 1 set. So we're already having 3 points there. The bonus card doesn't activate really per se, but you get 3 points at the end. You just score the however well you did on the bonus card at the end of the game. So, that was the 5th action for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, for the Automa. So we're going to take our 6th action, and as you can see, after this we only have 2 actions left, and that'll be the end of the first round. So, I think since I have no bird cards left, it might just be best to draw bird cards here. And we're actually going to get more than just 2 because of how the birds we've played in the wetlands so far. So we have Wilson Snipe and Little Egret. So, again, we're taking the draw bird cards action here. So we're just going to put our action cube on the rightmost spot and get what it shows. So we're going to get those 2 cards. Now, for the 2 cards, we can take from the tray or the deck. So I might take that Willy Wagtail that I was talking about earlier. That would be really good with the American Robin, I think, because we'll be able to draw a card, then tuck it. So we'll take that as one of the cards. Now we get 1 more card. And let's just take... Oh, I kind of like the Mourning Dove as well. It is 0 points. You can combo with the other birds. Yes, some of the birds combo really well with each other and some don't. But what I was saying is that the Willy Wagtail will go really nicely with the American Robin, because as we're gaining food, we'll be able to draw a card, which is what the Willy Wagtail says. Draw 1 card face up from the tray with a bowl or a wild nest. And then we will be able to take that card and tuck it behind the American Robin while we're gaining food. So yeah, some birds combo really well with others and some don't. Okay. So what I was saying is I really like that mourning dove. Also, if you look at the mourning dove's habitats, I'll zoom in here. The mourning dove can go in any of the 3 habitats. Now, it is a 0-point bird, so we won't get points for it at the end of the game, but it will give us an egg each time we activate it. So we'll lay an egg on it each time we activate it, and it has a pretty hefty nest there, so it can hold 5 eggs. And we're going to spend eggs throughout the game, so I am going to take this mourning dove from the tray as my second option. Okay, now looking at the tray, we've taken 2 birds. You don't refill the tray as you until you're done your action. So we're gonna go. We took our 2 cards, and then we're gonna move over to the Wilson Snipe. So this says, when activated, all players draw 1 card from the deck. So we do exactly that. We'll take. This is the egg storage bird. Yes, any bird with a lot of egg storage is good. Some of these birds, I think the maximum is 6. So a bird with 5 is pretty good. Some of these lower nests fill up pretty quick. You'll see as we're trying to lay eggs here, some of these nests will fill up quick. So we activated our Wilson Snipe. We drew 1 card from the deck. And then since we were playing with the Automa's Horde just to make the game a little harder, we're going to give the Automa 2 cash tokens for drawing a card. So we'll just put them over here, and that's going to be their points for the end of the game. And then we're going to activate our little egret. So this says draw 1 from the deck and add it to your hand. All other players draw 1 from the deck and keep it if it can live in the wetlands. So we draw 1 more from the deck. So as you can see, we ended up getting 4 bird cards there. So we have the red-eyed vireo. This is a double play bird. So when played, play an additional bird in your forest, pay its normal cost. So this allows you to play 2 birds at once. And then we have cedar waxwing. When activated, tug a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, gain a cherry from the supply. So we may or may not play that, but I really like the idea of getting maybe a red-eyed vireo into a willy wagtail. That's like a good combination. And we're going to give the Automa 2 more cash tokens there for drawing another card. So we're going to assume that they drew a card and it could live in the wetlands. So they'll get 2 cash tokens. And then that's the end of our action. So we've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actions so far. We've played 4 birds. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of our actions are on play a bird. And then we've gained food 1 time. And we've drawn bird cards 1 time. So that's kind of what these cubes are about. And the next turn will be for the Automa. So we'll flip a card. Oh, we do have to refill the tray real quick. And what this symbol means is that they're going to take bird cards face up from the tray based on their bonus card. So they have a bonus card, Large Bird Specialist. So that's going to be 35% of the cards. So they're going to take any bird from this tray that has a wingspan over 65 centimeters. So the Major Mitchell's cockatoo is 81 centimeters, so it's over 65. So they'll get that face up for 6 points. So that is 1 point more than the 5, so they'll keep that face up. I guess I could put those over here so we can kind of see their points. And yeah. So then we'll refill. Oh, we have to place a Duet token as well. So this is going to go starting in the bottom left of the goal board. We're looking for a beak pointing left or right in the forest. So the first spot that is right there. So working our way up to the forest, beak pointing left or right. So that's where that's going to go. They're going to take that. Now they don't get that bonus food. And we'll refill the tray. And the Rufous Owl comes out. So that is a 7-point forest bird. Alright, I have 2 actions left in the game, or in the first round. And we have 1 food. And I think what I want to do is take a lay eggs action just to kind of explain how that works. So obviously, we could play another bird, but we don't have the eggs. So this is kind of where the eggs come in. So to play the mourning dove in this next column here in the forest where I want to play it, we need 1 egg. And we have no eggs. So what we're going to do is take the lay eggs action. So just put the cube there and you just get 2 eggs. It's as simple as that. And then you lay those eggs on birds. So we're going to put an egg here and an egg here. Then we got our 2 eggs. We'll move over to the olive-backed sunbird. So this says, when activated, each player may roll any 1 dice and gain that food from the bird feeder. So we're going to roll this dice. And then we can get a nectar, which is helpful. That's actually huge. That's very lucky. Now we'll give the Automa 1 cash token for getting a food as well, because it says each player may do it, so they're going to do it as well. And then we're flipping again for the Automa here, and they're going to discard all 3 birds from the tray, so they ended up getting this symbol again. So you're going to discard those 3 birds, get a face down card for 5 points. So their points are just kind of adding up over here. And they're going to place 1 duet token. So we'll start in this bottom right corner of the screen. And I'm dropping duet tokens here. So yeah, we're going to start in the bottom right corner of the screen, looking for a nest type in the forest. So the first nest type in the forest, we'll work all the way up to the forest. And this is the first nest type in the forest. So that's where that's going to go. And then that's the end of their turn. So we'll refill the tray. We got Lincoln Sparrow. We have Desert Wheatear. And we got Broad-winged Hawk. Okay, now final action for me, round 1. This is going to be a big play. We're going to do a double play here. So we're going to play a bird in the forest. So we're going to play this bird, the red-eyed vireo. Now we're going to play this in the forest, and it costs a worm/cherry. So what we're going to do is pay with our wild food, our nectar here, and we'll put that right there. So this is going to cost that worm/cherry and 1 egg. So we'll take an egg off the robin, and that's the food cost. And then this says, when played, play an additional bird in your forest, pay its normal cost. So this is an opportunity to play a second bird with 1 action. So we are going to drop the mourning dove. Since we have that wheat and we have that egg, we're going to put a second bird in the forest here. Pay that egg, pay the wheat. And then we're going to place these 2 duet tokens. Now, these both have to go in the forest, and this is a huge play. I mean, for our last turn here, because looking at the goal board, it's the end of the round, and we're going for duet tokens in the forest. And the Automa has 2, and we have 1. But right now, we're about to place 2. So we're going to win this end of round goal, hopefully. So we'll start with the vireo. We paid with a wild food. Now, they have a nest type. So what I want to do is place this. The red-eyed vireo has a star nest. So since it's a wild nest, I can go on any of the nest types. So I'm going to place it on that nest type where I get a bonus food. So the bonus food I'll take will be a worm. So we get a worm from the bird feeder. Okay, now placing this second duet token, since we played 2 birds, I'm going to go on that wheat spot because we ended up paying a wheat for the mourning dove. So now we have 1, 2, 3 to their 2 birds in the forest. So that was a good play for the end of the round. Now the Automa takes their final action for the round, so this will be their 8th. And they're going to play a bird. So they're looking for, again, birds with 65 centimeters or bigger wingspan. So there's 1 bird in the tray with a wingspan over 65, so this one is 85. So they get this bird card face up worth 4 points. And that's going to be the end of round 1. So all we have to do really here is, at the end of the round, adjust the spent nectar twice. So we're going to flip 2 of these cards and do kind of what it says based on the cubes. So this means they're going to lose 1 spent nectar in the forest, gain 1 in the grasslands, and gain 1 in the wetlands. So we do that twice. Now we'll do it again. They're going to lose 1 in the forest, and that's it. Now it's the end of round 1. So the way we score this up, first we'll remove the round 1 card from the Automa deck so I don't forget here. And then we'll flip this round tracker over to round 2 because it's about to be round 2. We'll shuffle the Automa deck. We're going to discard all 3 cards from the tray. And put 3 new ones out for the next round. And the last thing we need to do is score this end of round goal. So on the goal board here for round 1, it says duet tokens in the forest. Now we have 3 because we're black, and then the Automa is white. So we'll take 1 of our action cubes, which means we're going to be down to 7 actions for round 2. So we have 3, so we win. We get the 2 points in round 1. And they get the 0 for having those 2 to our 3. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Now we move on to round 2. So we get our action cubes back, and we're losing an action each round. So we have 7 actions this round, and we always go first against the Automa. Alright, so I have a worm as my food. Now, any of the nectar that we end up with at the end of the round, we will lose. So it's important to use that nectar before the end of the round. So we have a worm here. And I'm sort of thinking we want to get this Willy Wagtail down, excuse me, to really bulk up that forest engine, where we're going to be tucking cards, drawing cards, laying eggs. I mean, that's all 3 actions in 1 action. So the only other thing, maybe we draw cards first so that we can get that fish crow. I really like that fish crow, and we do need a second platform nest bird. We do have a wild, but you never know. So we're going to take a draw cards action. We're going to draw 2 cards. We'll take that fish crow for our first card. And then we will draw a second card from the deck. Okay, and we get the bush tit. So that is a when activated ability. So tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, you may lay an egg on this bird. So I like that. We also need to lay eggs here, so we're going to draw another card from the deck from the Wilson Snipe ability. So we have the Eurasian Kestrel. This is a predatory bird. So when activated, roll any 3 dice. If you roll at least 1 rat, cash a rat on this bird. Now all cash food at the end of the game is going to be worth a point. The Automa is going to get 2 cash tokens for drawing a card there because it says all players. And then we'll do the little egret. They're also going to get 2 cash tokens, and we draw 1 more from the deck. From that little egret ability. So we have the Cerulean Warbler. So this is a endangered species here. So this is when played, draw 2 bonus cards and keep 1. So this is a way to get extra bonus cards throughout the game. Alright, we'll refill the tray. That's the end of our first action for round 2. And the Automa is going to take food here. So starting with worm/wheat, then worms. So looking in the feeder, we have them 2 worms that are going to come out. And then we have no pink abilities, so that's the end of the Automa's action. Alright, second action here, I'm going to take food. Reason being, we need that food to play some of these birds. And our Morning Dove is going to give us the eggs, which is going to allow us to play the birds. So we get 2 food from the bird feeder here. And since there is 1 die left, we can re-roll all 5 before choosing our 2 food. Whoa. Just throwing dice across the board. So we'll roll these. Alright, now we get 2 of these, and there's 2 nectar there. So nectar is going to be your best bet because it's a wild food. You can use it as anything, and then it counts towards the end of the game as points. The other thing we can do here is discard a card for a 3rd food. And in this case, I think I will do that. We'll get rid of the cedar waxwing. Now, actually, let's get rid of the Eurasian kestrel. So we're going to get rid of that Eurasian kestrel to get a 3rd food, and the 3rd food is going to be a fish. So we'll take that fish from the feeder. So we end up with 2 nectar and a fish there. Then we'll move on and activate the Morning Dove. So what this says is just lay an egg on this bird. So we're going to do exactly that, lay an egg on it. And then we have the American Robin, which we can now use. So when activated, tuck a card from your hand behind this bird if you do draw a card. So now I'm going to use the Robin's ability to tuck this behind the Robin for a point, and then if you do tuck that card, you get to draw a card. So we're going to draw one right off the top of the deck here, and we end up getting the Barrow's Goldeneye. Alright, that's the end of our second action for round 2. So we're going to flip another bird card here, or another Automa card. And nice and easy, they're going to lay 2 eggs. So easy enough. What do we want to do here? Maybe get this fish crow down in the grasslands. Really bump out that that grasslands actions. So yeah, let's do that. We're gonna play a bird here in the grasslands. Now this costs 1 egg, so we only have that 1 egg. And then it also costs a fish and any food. So let's use a fish and a nectar. So we're gonna spend a nectar there. I could have sworn I spent a nectar in the forest to play the red-eyed vireo. So spend the nectar. That's our second nectar in the grasslands. So we'll drop that there. And then we're going to place a Duet token in the grasslands. Now, I'm going to go right on this larger than 50 centimeter spot to get that bonus because the fish crow is larger than 50 centimeters. So we'll get 1 egg. And we can put that anywhere. So I'm going to put it on the red-eyed vireo. So that is the end of my 3rd action. And I'm going to take a quick bathroom break here. And we'll return and do the Automa's 3rd turn. So I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back taking the third action for the Automa. We're going to discard these 3 bird cards here from the tray. And then they'll get another face down card for 5 points. Then they're going to place that Duet token. So that's going to go starting in the upper left corner here. They're going to place it on a nest type in the wetlands. So that first nest type in the wetlands is right here on platform nest. And then we'll refill the tray for our turn. We have the Indian peafowl. Got the tufted titmouse and the plainest warbler. All right, so we've got 4 actions left for round 2. Now, I would like to play that Willy Wagtail, but to do so, in the forest, we need those 2 eggs. So we don't have 2 eggs, we have 1. So the move right here, we're gonna go ahead and lay some eggs. So lay 2 eggs, and then we'll spend a nectar here to lay a 3rd egg. And all spent nectar, even if you spend it in that way, I think goes on the spent nectar. So we're gonna lay 3 eggs here. We'll just kind of spread them out. And then we have discard an egg from any of your other birds. So we're going to do that to gain any food type from the supply. So we'll gain a nectar right back. And then each player may roll any 1 die. So we're going to give the Automa a cash token there. And we'll roll 1 die. So we did roll this cherry nectar, so we can get another nectar here. Okay, that was our 4th action. So in this round 2, you can see we've taken 1 of each of the actions. So we've played a bird, we've gained food, we've laid eggs, and drawn bird cards. So let's flip for the Automa's 4th action. They're going to lay 2 eggs. I love how fast the laying eggs is. For the Automa, it's quick. You don't have to search around the goal board and whatnot. Yeah, I'm looking at maybe playing this Willy Wagtail here. So we're gonna play that. We picked that up early in the game, early in round 1. So we're gonna go ahead and play Willy Wagtail here in the forest. Okay, now the cost is 2 eggs, so we'll take 2 eggs from our birds. And then it costs a worm and any food. Now we're going to spend 2 nectar. And that's going to go on the spent nectar here. Sometimes I do forget that. For the Oceania expansion. All right, now we get to place that Duet token. So we have some options here. We spent a nectar, so I'm sort of thinking we just go like this. Since we used a nectar as a wild food, now we gain another food from this bonus location here from the feeder. So we're going to take this worm/wheat as a wheat to hopefully play this golden eye. Needs a fish, wheat, and worm. Alright, that was action number 5. We'll flip for the Automa. And they are going to play a bird. So we're looking again in the tray for birds with wingspans over 65 centimeters. So we have the plainest wanderer. Zooming in on the tray here, we have plainest wanderer. So you can see that's 32 centimeters. And then we have the tufted titmouse, which is 25 centimeters. And the Indian peafowl, 145. So they are going to take that Indian peafowl face up for 7 points. All right, we're going to flip another card in the tray. And we have Bell's Vireo. So this is a bonus card bird. So another endangered species. It's a cool looking bird. When played, draw 2 bonus cards and keep 1. Now we have to place that Duet token for the Automa. So Starting in the upper left corner of the goal board, we're looking for a beak pointing left or right in the wetlands. Okay, so that's going to be right here. So they're getting that contiguous group going, and it's back to me. So we have 2 actions left in round 2. I could get this cerulean warbler down. No, we only have 1 egg. So maybe we play bush tit. So we're going to play the bush tit. And it's going to go in this column here because we're playing it in the grassland. So it costs 1 egg. We only have 1 egg. We'll take it right off Wilson's snipe. And we'll put this down in the grasslands. Take our duet token. It's also going to cost 1 worm and 1 wheat. Now, duet tokens in the grasslands. That is the goal for round 2, and we have 1 action left. But we get to place this in the grasslands, and instead of taking the bonus section here, I'm going to go ahead and connect my duet tokens here to make a larger contiguous group. I think that's the play. Alright, we've played 3 birds this round. We've gained food once, drawn bird cards once, and laid eggs once. Moving on to the Automa. They are playing birds again. So we're looking for those birds that are over 65 centimeters. And looking here in the tray, we have the Bell's Vireo. It's 18. And then we got Tufted Titmouse, 25. Plainest Wanderer, 32. So no birds over 65. So when that happens, they just get 1 face down card worth 5 points. And then we place their duet token. So on the goal board here, starting in the bottom right, we're looking for a beak pointing left or right in the wetlands again. So this is going to be the first spot. They're taking that other bonus spot. So final action. Round 1. Let's go ahead and lay some eggs. So all the way out here, we get to lay 2 eggs, and then we have the option to discard a food or a card for a 3rd egg, and then we can do the same thing again for a 4th egg if we want. But we're just going to lay those 2 eggs, and I'll kind of show why here. So we're going to put 2 eggs down because we only get 2. Then we'll activate our bush tit. So this is tuck a card from your hand. So we're going to tuck this Barrow's Goldeneye. And then the bush tit's ability is tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, you may also lay an egg on this bird. So we're going to go ahead and lay an egg there. And then we'll activate our fish crow. So we'll discard the egg from the bush tit to get a food. Now, we want to get that food for this cerulean warbler, so I'm going to choose a worm, and then we'll roll one of these dice from the olive-backed sunbird ability. And we rolled a rat, so that's what we get. And that was the end of our last action for round 2. So let's flip one more time for the Automa, and they are going to take food from the bird feeder. Now, since there's 1 left, we re-roll first. Okay, now removing food from the bird feeder, starting with cherries. There are no cherries. Then we move to wheat. Now there's 3 options with wheat, but the way this works is if it's wheat nectar, that will come first. So both of these nectar are coming out. The Automa is taking them from us as an option. Okay. We'll adjust our spent nectar here again. So they're going to lose 1 in both grasslands, wetlands, and gain 1 in the forest for that first card. Look at this next card. Going to lose 1 in the wetlands and gain 1 in the forest. So back to almost even 5s here, it looks like. We'll reset the tray for round 3. We've got the red cockaded woodpecker. We have rose-ringed parakeet. And Anna's hummingbird now in the tray. take a look at those real quick. The red cockaded woodpecker is a when played, draw 2 bonus cards and keep 1. Rose ring parakeet, when played, copy a when played white ability of one of your neighbor's birds. So for playing solo, we're going to copy something from the tray. And Anna's hummingbird, so this is an omnivore bird, so it eats any food, goes in all 3 habitats, and it's when activated, each player gains a food from the bird feeder, starting with the player of your choice. So if you're playing with 5 people, you pick the person that goes first, they take a food, it goes around the table. Okay, we're starting round 3 here, so we just do the little maintenance here. So we have to remove this round 2 card from the Automa's deck. So this card that says remove after round 2, we'll take that out. We'll flip this round tracker over to round 3. Shuffle up the Automa deck. We've already reset the bird tray, so get our action cubes back, and I think we're good to go. Just need to score that round goal. So scoring the round goal, Duet tokens in the grasslands. Now, I'll zoom in here on the board. The Automa has not done well with this. We have 3 tokens to their none. So we get that end of round goal. We steal that 3 points from them. They get 0. Okay. First action. Let's see how we're doing right now with our Mechanical Engineer bonus card, because I might end up playing the Cerulean Warbler to get another bonus card. So we have, I know I have 1 set. This can be tough to count here. So Bull Nest, Cavity Nest, we'll call it, Platform Nest, Enclosure Nest. And then we have Platform Nest, Bull Nest, Cavity Nest, Enclosure Nest. So we do have the 2 sets, so we have maxed out Mechanical Engineer. So what I want to do is get this Cerulean Warbler as the final bird in the forest, so we can grab another bonus card. So I'm going to take food. Now, our forest action is pretty strong now, so we're going to get 3 food from the bird feeder. Let's take the wheat that we need for 1. For our second food, let's take a rodent. No, we have a rodent. Let's take a worm. And for our third option, we get to re-roll because there's only 1 food left. Okay, and then we're going to take a nectar. Now we'll do the Willy Wagtail ability. So we played this Willy Wagtail, we picked it up early, and this is going to be the first time we're activating it. So in round 3, draw 1 card face up from the tray with a bowl or wild nest. You may reset or refill the tray before doing so. So we get to draw this Anna's hummingbird here. Now, if there were no bowl nest or wild nest, we could reset the tray first and then take 1. But there was already the Anna's hummingbird, so we're just going to take that. And then we'll activate our mourning dove, which says lay an egg on this bird. And then we'll activate the robin. And we will tuck the hummingbird that we got from Willy Wagtail to draw a random card from the top of the deck. Okay, we keep getting forest birds, and I already know I'm playing this in the forest, and that'll be the last bird we can play in the forest. So that's our end of our first action for round 1. We got to refill the tray here. Little egret or snowy egret comes out. So that's a predator ability. So roll all the dice not in the bird feeder. If any fish, cash 1 fish on this bird. Okay, starting for the Automa here, their round 3, turn 1 is going to be playing birds. So we have one bird in the tray that's over 65, so they're going to take that face up. And then we'll refill the tray, and they're going to place a Duet token. And the red-backed fairy wren comes out. So this is a game end ability to lay an egg on each of your birds with a wild nest, including this one. Could be good for us. We have 2 wild nests right now. Or 3, actually. 1, 2, 3. So we'll put that Duet token down for the Automa real quick. It's going to be starting in the bottom right, looking for a food type in the forest. So that first food type in the forest would be right there. Okay, so I had some plans here to play this cerulean warbler. I'm going to go ahead and do that now that we have the eggs and food we need. So this is going to cost 2 eggs. We'll take the 2 eggs from here and here. And then it costs 2 food as well. So a worm and a wheat. We're going to spend nectar, worm. Yes, we're going to spend nectar, worm for that food cost. And the nectar will go here. Worm back in the supply, and we're gonna place that. Now we did do bowl nest, and this continues our contiguous group and helps with round 3. So that's the decision making process there for me. That's just kind of how I'm thinking. So we played a bird there. All right, we'll flip for the Automa. We're going to play a bird as well. So birds with wingspans over 65 centimeters. So there are none at this point, so they get a face down card for 5 points. And they place another Duet token looking for, let's see, starting in the bottom right, looking for a food in the grassland. So right there on that first spot is where that's going to go. Okay. Yeah, I want to draw some cards, so we're really only down to this Downy Woodpecker. That's the final card in our hand, so I think I'm going to draw some cards here. And we get 2 cards. I don't really care for that red-backed fairy wren, I don't think, although the wild nest could be great. I mean, it would be 4 eggs at the end of the game for free, so maybe we just take it. Let's take it from the tray. We don't want to play it, we end up tucking it, no big deal. So take a second card, we get another forest bird. So the yellow rump warbler is a tuck and draw bird for a forest. Then we'll draw another card from the deck. We're going to get 2 cards from the deck here, so we'll take these 2 cards and give the Automa 4 cash tokens for playing with Automa's Horde. Okay. Now this Eurasian eagle owl we picked up, this can go in the grasslands or the forest. None of the other birds I'm really interested in. That might be the only one we play because we can play it right now. If we had 2 eggs, we could play it right now. But let's see, that was my 3rd action. So we'll flip one for the Automa. They're going to lay 2 eggs. Nice and easy. Gotta love it. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm going to lay some eggs. And we're all the way out here so we can lay 2 eggs. Let's see, we're going to tuck 1, so maybe we can discard 1. Let's discard this Downy Woodpecker to lay 3 eggs. I think I forgot to refill the tray. So we're going to lay 3 eggs here. Just kind of spread them out. Now we're going to activate our bush tit ability. So this says, when activated, tuck a card from your hand. So we'll go ahead and tuck the blue grosbeak from our hand. And since we did that, we get to lay an egg on there. So it's tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, you may also lay an egg. So lay that egg there. And then we have discard an egg from any of your other birds to gain 1 food from the supply. So we'll do that. We'll take the egg we just laid right off to gain a rat. And then we'll activate our sunbird to roll any dice and gain that food. So we're going to get a fish. Yo, forklift certified. This is KC, right? How's it going, Kay? What are you up to, man? I'm in round 3 right now of this Wingspan game. So, got all these birds down, getting point salad here, if you know what I'm saying. Good. That's good. So, yeah. That would be action number 4. So, for our 4th action for the Automa, we're going to flip a card here. And this little symbol here means they're going to wipe the 3 cards from the tray. So, getting rid of those birds. Gaining a face-down card. You're about to hop on WoW. Okay, yeah, I'll be on in a little bit. Yeah, we got a lot of quests to do. Have you been on since? Like, I forget where we're at. Like Tenaris or something? You should stream WoW someday. WoW. WoW's, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I could try it. I do play it enough, right? I kind of like this. I don't know why, but yeah. I mean, I could try. I think I have tried streaming WoW, like maybe once or twice. But yeah, I say we stream WoW. I say we stream some hardcore WoW. That's the way to go. Fun stuff. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm noticing is that you're responding. So there's no delay here. Now, it looks like I fixed the delay, man. I was having major issues with that delay. Fahad actually helped me with that. You can see his name, Stablord, Twitch up there. I don't know if you can see the whole chat or not, but yeah, hardcore WoW. I'm down to stream it. I can actually set it up today if you want. Or maybe we get 60 first on that PvP server. So we play WoW on what is it, Night Slayer PvP? Yeah, fun stuff. We're like level 50s, like right around level 51, 52. Let's get 60 first. I agree. We gotta get 60. Almost there, right? 8 levels. Then stream hardcore. I'm down. I can start setting it up today. I can put the work in. So I'm ready. Yeah, so we're on. They discarded the 3 cards from the tray. We'll give them another face down card just in case I didn't give them one. Brennan wants to know if you ever played Diablo 4. No, I never played any of the Diablos. I've had friends tell me that it's like Diablo 2 was like the best one ever. I've played a little bit of Diablo 3 on Xbox. That was good. I thought it was good. The only thing I didn't like is how when you play through the game on the easiest difficulty, you play it again just on a harder difficulty. Like it's exactly the same. So yeah, that would be the only thing. I didn't even know there was a Diablo 4. That must be brand new, right? Oh, okay, so they have Diablo on Xbox now. That's cool. Yeah, that's came out in 2023. Oh, wow. Yeah, I never even heard of it. So Gloomhaven has a digital version, which is another board game that I play. I'll probably end up playing that soon, but the second version, so it's called Frosthaven. It's actually that big box right above my head there. Let me go to this screen here since I'm just talking right now. So this game right here, Frosthaven, there's a little bit of a glare on the box, but it's a huge board game. And they made a digital version, so I'll probably end up playing that next with a friend of mine. Because I played with him and he really liked Gloomhaven, so we'll play Frosthaven. I don't know about streaming though. It's a possibility. It's a brand new game, so this is an old game. I think this came out in 2019. Wingspan. So, going back to the board here, we have to place one Duet token here for the Automa. So we're going to place this Duet token. We're nearing the end of the game. We're at the end of round 3 right now. We're going to place this Duet token starting in the bottom left, looking for a nest type in the wetlands. So that's going to be right here. That's the first nest type in the wetlands, so we'll drop that right there. And then we're going to refill the tray, and we'll see what comes out. So we have the Sri Lanka blue magpie, 9-point bird, round end ability. I can zoom in on the tray here so we can see this is 9 points in its own right. It costs 3 food, so a worm, cherry, and a rat. And then it can hold 2 eggs and has that type of nest type. Now the cool thing about it is it has this round end ability. So this round end ability is you may cache 1 food from your supply on each of your birds. So at the end of each round, you'd be able to do that. So obviously it'd be better to get that out in the earlier rounds, but we don't have the space to play that bird. So the next bird coming out is the Brahmini kite. So this is a wetland bird, 6 points, also costs 3 food. And then we'll flip for the last bird. We have the Rufous Banded Honey Eater. So a 0-point bird, wetland or forest. Okay, 2 actions left in round 3. So, I believe what my plan was to get this Eurasian eagle owl here, and then we have this red-backed fairy wren that has a game end ability to lay an egg on each of your birds with a star nest, including this one. So, the move here is going to be play a bird. So we're playing a bird out in this column here in the grasslands. So we're playing this Eurasian eagle owl. Now we can see that this bird can go in either the grassland habitat, which is here, or the forest habitat. But our forest habitat is already full of birds, so we have to play here. So we'll put this here. Now as far as costs go, this bird costs 2 eggs and 2 rats. So rat plus rat here is showing on the card. So we're going to pay those 2 rats. And we'll also take 2 eggs from our birds. And that's the bird cost right there in my hand. So we'll pay that. And now we're going to place our Duet token. So we paid 2 rats. We got platform nest. And we have 50 or bigger centimeters. So what about beak pointing right? So technically the owls face forward, so we cannot go on beak pointing right. But what we can do to get a nice large contiguous group here, I'll show you what I mean. We're gonna go on the rat spot right here because we ended up paying a rat for that bird. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 contiguous group points there. I like it. Looks good. And we have 1 action left, so let's flip again for the Automa. They're going to do the same thing they did last turn. They're going to discard these 3 birds, get a face-down card for 5 points. Whoa, dropping cards. And then they'll place another Duet token. So that's going to go, starting in this upper right corner, looking for a food type in the forest. So the first food type in the forest will actually be this worm. So we'll place that there, and yeah, we're going to refill the tray. And we have Stellar's Jay. And then Logger-Headed Shrike. And the Black Noddy. So Black Noddy, interesting bird here. Whoops. Look at the tray. This is what I'm talking about here is this Black Noddy. This is a 9-point platform nest bird, costs 3 fish. It has a when activated ability to reset the bird feeder and gain all fish, if there are any. You may discard any number of these fish to tuck that many cards from the deck behind this bird. So, pretty powerful, could be. Yeah. So I believe it is my turn. This is my last turn for round 3, and then we have round 4, and the game's over. So We have just enough resources here to play this bird. So I'm going to play another bird here. This is actually turning out to be a solid game. I'm not going to lie. So we have the red-backed fairy wren. This has a game end ability. I'll explain that at the end of the game, but we're going to play this right here. And we'll look at the food cost. So it's a worm and a wheat. So we'll pay that worm, pay that wheat. And then it's also going to cost 2 eggs because it's out here in this last column. So here's the full food cost and egg cost of the bird. And placing this duet token. So we paid a wheat. Let's go ahead and get that bonus wheat right there and just extend that contiguous group out. This might be one of my best contiguous groups I've had on this board. So we're gonna get that bonus for the eggs. So we're gonna lay an egg on any bird here. And yeah, now we're looking at no actions left for round 3. So we're gonna do the final action for the Automa. Our automated opponent here. We'll lay 3 eggs for them. And that's gonna wrap up round 3. Now we have to do adjust the spent nectar. And this little pile over here is the Automa's eggs and points and stuff, so we'll tally that up at the end of the game. But for now, we're doing the adjust spent nectar here. So we'll do this twice. And it looks like they're going to gain 2 nectar in the wetlands, 2 nectar in the grasslands, and they will lose 1 in the forest, so we'll take that out. And that's going to be the end of round 3. So do the maintenance here real quick. Taking this remove after round 3 card out of the Automa deck. Flipping this round tracker over to round 4. And then we're shuffling the Automa deck. Discarding the tray. Yada yada, same stuff. The 4 rounds of Wingspan. So I've done a lot more explaining, I think, today of the game. Usually I'm just flying through, and you know, I've never had viewers or anybody really come in and ask me, probably because the content was horrible. So I had somebody help me fix that yesterday. Pretty grateful. But yeah, if anyone ever is in the stream and not sure what's going on, if this just looks crazy to you, don't be afraid to ask what I'm doing. I have no issues explaining how to play. Last thing we got to do is discard this tray for the round and get our cubes back. Put 3 new birds out. And I think I shuffled the Automa deck already, but we'll do it again just in case. So we're going to put 3 new birds out. We got the ash-throated flycatcher. It's a good one. So that's a when played ability to lay an egg on each of your birds with a cavity nest, which is that nest type there. Okay, crested lark, not a fan. And then we have ruby crowned kinglet. So play an additional bird in your forest, pay its normal cost. Same as red-eyed vireo, we've done that already. Our forest and our grasslands is full. This is a good game. We've already played 12 birds, which is always a good game if you can get 12 down. For this final round, we have 5 actions. So we need to score the round goal. And what we're going to do for the round goal is that was round 3, the end of round 3. So it's going to be tokens on nest types here. So we'll tally mine up. I'm black. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we'll count white. 1, 2, 3. So we win that round goal as well. So doing awesome here. I mean, this is just, you know, with all the explaining I was doing round 1, you know, not really just trying to get birds down, but this has turned into a pretty good engine here. And we're going to try to get as many points as we can. We'll put that Automa cube down for 0 points. And now we're looking at the final round of the game. So we're looking at in any one horizontal row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We already have 6. Don't need to worry about that. So we'll go back to the board here. And let's think about this first action we want to take. So I'm going to draw some cards. We'll actually discard an egg here, as it says, for a third card. So we want to collect as many cards as we can so that we can run that egg engine and tuck some stuff behind the bush tit, get some food. We're going to get as many points as we can here in the final round. So we are drawing 3 cards, so we'll take 3 off the top of the deck. We have Ruby Crown Night Heron. That may actually be worth playing. It's 9 points. We have Peaceful Dove, a 3-point bird for the grasslands and forests. We can't play there. And the Grackle, so 2 cards we can tuck. We'll go ahead and activate our Snipe, so that allows us to draw another card from the deck. We got a Tree Swallow. Draw another card from the deck, and we'll give the Automa their 4 cash tokens for playing with Automa's Horde. Those are just going to tally up to points for the opponent at the end of the game. I'm actually losing my voice here from talking, but we'll keep this going. This was a solid stream. What am I doing? Okay, that was the end of my first round, or first action, round 4. So we'll flip one for the Automa, see what they're doing. They're going to take food from the bird feeder. So I'll zoom in here one last time. This is how this works. It's showing round 4 because it is round 4, and they're going to take, starting with rats. If there's any rats in the bird feeder, they're going to take those out. So we do have 1 rat. We'll take it. And then right next to this, it says activate pink power. So if we had pink powers on our board, we would activate them now. So we don't. So it's back to me. We got 4 actions left. I'm just going to fly through these. We have lay 4 eggs. Easy enough. So we have 4 eggs here. We're going to lay. We'll just go ahead and drop them. Really anywhere. We want to keep them off the fish crow, actually. And I'll see why, but now this Eurasian Eagle Owl, this will be the first time we're activating this. It says it's a predatory gambling power. Now, up to 3 times draw 1 card from the deck when you stop. If the bird's total wingspan is less than 110 centimeters, tuck them behind this bird. If not, discard them. So, we'll start by drawing 1. And as you can see here, we are very close to the 110 centimeter mark already, so we're just going to stop there. Now, if you wanted, you could gamble and keep going, but if you pass 110, you discard all the cards. So we're going to take the point that we already got. We'll tuck that bird. So my Eurasian Eagle Owl just ate a Mandarin duck. Now we have Bush Tit. We're going to tuck a card from our hand. Which one do we play? We might want to play this this Black Crown Night Heron. So what I'll do is tuck the Peaceful Dove, and then the Bush Tit allows for tucking and laying an egg. So we'll tuck, lay our egg on the Bush Tit, and then we'll activate our Fish Crow and discard said egg to gain a rat for the Black Crown Night Heron. And then we will roll 1 dice. Now if we get a worm here, okay, nectar is all the same. So we'll take the nectar, give the Automa a cash token. And that's the end of our second action. We'll flip. The Automa is discarding the tray. So they're going to remove all 3 of these birds. We're going to take a face down card worth 5 points. And then they'll place a Duet token, as always. So this Duet token will start in this upper left corner of this Duet board, and we'll work our way across and down, looking for a food in the grasslands. So that first food in the grasslands is going to be there, and that's going to add to their contiguous group. What I mean here is at the end of the game, you'll get 1 point for each contiguous group. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now, and we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is pretty good. Move these over. Would be the only thing that I would complain about is not being able to see through those Duet tokens for counting the end around goals. And I'm not sure why they fit together, but they do. It's like a yin-yang situation. I don't know. But we'll move on and that was a second action. So we take we'll refill the tray. Whoops. We got painted white star. We've got great hornbill. That's another 9-point forest bird, and we have trumpeter swan. So really would have liked to get that trumpeter swan earlier in the game. It's a 9-point no power bird. Takes 2 wheat and any food. My next action here is going to be pretty simple. We're going to play a bird. So I'm going to put this up here because the bird's going in this column. And we're going to play it in the wetlands because it's a wetland only bird. Oh, we forgot to draw 2 bonus cards from the cerulean warbler, man. Where was anybody on that? So we have wetland population monitor, different nest types. This would totally not be fair if I chose this. We're going to discard that, and we'll take fishery manager. So we're already hitting points for that anyway. It's the minimum right now, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're at the minimum. And then we'll place our duet token. Costs 1 egg, 1 nectar, 1 rat, 1 fish. And then we place our duet token. So I'm just going to add it right to the fish spot here so we get that contiguous group even larger. Okay, that was action number 3. Let's flip for the Automa. They're going to lay 3 eggs. Alright, so these eggs are just going to equate to a point later for the computer. Or the Automa, the fake opponent we're playing here for solo. And we ended up getting another bonus card a long time ago, and I forgot to draw it, so let's see. Yeah, so we did 3 for them, 3 for me. Take my 4th action here. We're going to lay eggs. So we get to lay 4 eggs. And we'll just spread these out. We'll go on the willy wagtail. We'll go on the mourning dove. Let's put 1 on the egret and 1 on the snipe. That was 4, right? And then we'll do the Eurasian eagle owl. So up to 3 times draw a card from the deck. Let's see what we get. 74 centimeters again. So we're close to 110. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to take the point. Tuck. We'll tuck 1 from our hand. Let's tuck this tree swallow. We'll lay an egg. And then do we want to discard eggs? We're not playing any more birds, so we're going to leave that egg. We'll skip the fish crow ability. And we will actually skip the olive-backed sunbird ability too, because we don't need any more food. We're not playing any more birds, and I don't want to give the Automa any more cash tokens. All right, flipping for the Automa's 4th action here. They're playing a bird. So birds over 65. So there's 2, and they're both 9 points. I guess they keep either one, right? So we'll just give them a 9-point bird face up and discard the other bird. And then we'll refill the tray. We have Puffin coming out. Puffin's huge. So 8-point bird gives you another bonus card. Cost fish. It's a wild nest. I like it. Final action of the game. We're laying eggs. Surprise, surprise. So we lay 4 eggs. Put 1 on the heron. 1 on the robin. 1 on the vireo. And 1 on the fish crow. Draw for the Eurasian eagle owl. So this is the gambler, and this is already over 110, so we don't get that tuck. We discard. We tuck 1 from our hand. I don't know where this egg came from. It might not have been on my board, but it is now, so that's fair enough. We're not going to discard. We're not going to do that. So that's it. We are done with our actions. We have 1 more action here for the Automa. I know this can be a long, drawn-out game, but let's see how we did. We'll score it up. We're going to discard these 3 birds. No reason to refill. Give them that 5-point face-down card, and we'll place that final duet token. So that's going to go in the bottom left, or start in the bottom left, looking for a food type in the forest. So that's going to end up right there. And then we'll do the spent nectar adjustment 1 last time. Twice. So they're going to lose 1 in the wetlands. This is very helpful. We definitely lost. these categories here, so I'll show you what I mean. But we lost. They lost one here, lose and gain, so that stays even, and then they gain one in forest. So we've definitely lost in the spent nectar category, but that's going to be the end of round 4. So let's score that end of round goal. Now they are missing a duet token in this horizontal row, so we know we won because we have that maxed out. So this just says in any one horizontal row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these horizontal rows have one of our black tokens. So we have 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 of the horizontal rows have one of the white tokens. So we win all 4 round goals. This was a solid game, not gonna lie. As we add this up, a couple things that I forgot last game I want to make sure I remember are the horde tokens when playing with Automa's horde. So what I'm gonna do here is add up the bird points first. So if anyone is in here or interested at all as to how this scores, this whole game I've been playing for, it looks like in 2 hours now. This is going to be me, and this is going to be the Automa's points. So the first thing we score are just bird points in general. So we'll score all of my score first, and it's going to be just the birds on your board and the points next to the feathers. So those are victory points. So we have 9, 17 here, or 16, right? So 14, 15, 16. I'm going to use the calculator here, so. Okay, we have 16 plus, let's see, 10, 16, 19, so 16 plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is 45 points from birds, so not the best. And then we'll look at the bonus cards is what we're going to score next. So for our bonus cards, 2 bonus cards we had were Mechanical Engineer and Fishery Manager. So Fishery Manager we forgot to pick up when we played that Cerulean Warbler, but it's birds that eat fish. So for 2 to 3 birds, you get 3 points, and I think that's where we're at. Because we have Little Egret eats fish, Black Crown Night Heron eats fish, Fish Crow eats fish. That's 3. So we get 3 points plus 8 from Mechanical Engineer because we definitely have 2 sets here. Let's just make sure real quick. So we're looking for 2 platforms, 2 bowls. Looking for 2 cavity nests, we'll use 2 wild, and then for the 2 enclosure nests, we can use that and a wild. So we got the mechanical engineer for 8 and the fishery manager for 3. So it's 11 points total. And then for the end of round goals, we really swept here. Automa didn't win a single end of round goal, so we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points. And then we'll count our eggs. So all the eggs on the board are worth 1 point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So 13 eggs. Food on cards, we have none. Tucked cards, we know we have some behind the bush tit. We got some under this Eurasian eagle owl. These are all going to be 1 point each. And then we have the American robin, has some behind it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 points for tucked cards. And then duet tokens in the largest contiguous group. So let's look at this. We did really well here. We have 1. As long as they're connected by these dotted lines, these small dotted lines, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we'll total this up, and that's going to be our score for the game. I don't think we lost this here. We played on the hardest difficulty. We have 45 plus 11. Whoops. Plus 27. Plus 19. 102. Okay, so not the best. I thought we did much better. Oh, we did forget the redback fairy wren. Nobody reminded me about that. As I go back here, it would have just been 1, 2, 3, 4 more eggs. So instead of writing 102, we'll do 106. Okay, so I don't think I've missed anything else. And we'll add up the Automa score. So each one of these face down cards is going to be 5 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 times 5 is 45. Plus, they get all these face up points for their face up cards that they took from the tray. So the total here would be 10. Wow, this is actually a lot. So we have 10. And then 16 and 4 is 20. So this is 30 points, 10. Yeah, 30 points. So we may actually lose here. End of round goal 0, that helps. Eggs, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 eggs. Horde tokens, every 3 will convert to 1 point for hard difficulty. So this is 1 point. They got a big stack here. Here's 2 points. Here's 3 points. Here's 4 points. 5 points. And 6 points. So they get 6 points from Automa's Horde. And then their largest contiguous group over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so Fahad, this is how you score the end of the game, if you're still here. But yeah, we ended up getting 45 points from birds, 11 points from our bonus cards, 14 from the end of round goals, 13 eggs, 9 tucked cards, and 10 duet tokens in the largest contiguous group. So 106. And then against the computer here, we have 45 plus 30. 75 plus 15 and 12. So they got 102. So I am very glad that I remembered those that red-backed fairy wren. That is the one thing I forgot to do. So it says at the end of the game, lay an egg on each of your birds with a star nest. So I forgot those 4 points and added them on, and that is why we won the game. If I would have forgotten that, we would have tied. So the overall score was 106 to 102. So it was a good game. Very close game. I thought I was going to win by miles, but I guess not. So you can see there, the Automa is a worthy opponent sometimes, at least for me. I'm not an expert, but still fun. So this was great. I just want to say thanks to everyone that came to watch the stream. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and that's going to be it for me today. So goodbye.